Hello, my name is Tara Folks, and I'm part of the UK Hypnosis Convention 2019 team. As part of our range of interviews with all speakers at this year's convention, today I am joined by the talented Claude Ribaux. Now, Claude trained as a social scientist and worked for the Red Cross for many years. He now runs a coaching and training organisation based in Zurich in Switzerland. He has worked all over the world focusing on helping the change process and conflict transformation in complex political environments. Over the last 25 years, he has conducted more than 20,000 therapy and coaching sessions and hundreds of days of training. Claude's presentation is on Sunday the 10th of November at 5 o'clock and is entitled ActiveFlow Hacking Through and For Hypnosis. And he will be talking about how flow experience enhances hypnosis and how flow experience is fostered by hypnosis. Welcome to you today, Claude.
Well, thank you, Tara. I'm very glad to be here and to be able to talk about my forthcoming speech. Of course, it's more than a speech, it's also a dialogue.
Good, that's good to hear. So can you explain to us what flow experience is, please, Claude?
Well, you know, flow is nowadays considered as the optimal state of consciousness when you feel or when we feel our best and perform at our best. Moments when we focus or when our focus gets so intense that everything else disappears, is simply no more there. So then it's the moment when action and awareness start to merge. And our sense of self vanishes, our sense of time as well. And all aspects of performance, that's very important, both mental and physical, go through the roof. So that's the modern definition of flow experience. If for a hypnotist, of course, it is important to know that, of course, we build here on this model of conscious and subconscious mind. So the conscious mind, of course, is a potent tool, but it's low. Whereas the subconscious mind, meanwhile, is far more efficient. So we are building on that also. The subconscious mind, mainly during this flow state, can actually process much more data than usual conscious mind. So in ecstasies, for example, the conscious mind takes a break and the subconscious mind takes over. And when this occurs, a number of performance-enhancing neurochemicals flood our system, and for example, they include norepinephrine and dopamine. Both of these chemicals amplify focus, muscle reaction time, and also you can actually get much more information than normally.
Fantastic, thank you, Claude. And building up upon using our muscles, you use a different approach to many hypnotherapists, and you use active alert hypnosis. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, please?
Well, of course, I use all kinds of hypnosis depending on the client. Okay. But of course, one of my beloved methods, or my most beloved methods, is really active alert hypnosis. Active alert hypnosis induces hypnosis through movement. So mostly people sit on a stationary bike, and then I induce hypnosis on the bike. They are pedaling on the bike. And while they are pedaling, they're more and more getting into a hypnotic state or a hypnotic thinking or a hypnotic, actually, we don't really know if it is a state, but in this case, because research has been with EEG, but it's quite old. So at that moment, the models of hypnosis were still quite a bit old-fashioned. So, but we know that actually hypnotic reactions develop. So we induce activity, we induce focus, we induce concentrate, focus, be attentive, feel like a fresh feeling takes place in your body, and. So it's totally different from relaxation hypnosis, where it's deeper and deeper, and the deeper you go, and all this. So here we say the more active you get, the more fresh you get, the more attentive you get more and more and more, and you can focus on yourself, on your issues totally. Everything else disappears.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Claude.
Yes. Yes. So, and the good thing is, I mean, in general, you use hypnotic induction to do any kind of coaching or therapy work, and then you dissolve the hypnosis. That's exactly the same with active alert hypnosis. You induce hypnosis, and then once the person is in that active alert hypnosis, you do your normal work, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, there are differences because the client has much more sense of control, because the client is sitting on a bike or any other piece of equipment which is useful. It can be anything, or it can even in walking on just your ground, as yourself have experienced.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what it is. It matters that there is movement. Even if it is a very small movement with fingers and things like that,
right.
It's also movement. So, but of course, if you have more movement, it's better. So that's the interesting part. And the client has a sense of control. He thinks he's in control. And you often may have had some people who were control freaks. Yes. Among your clients.
It comes up quite a lot, to be honest. It's quite a lot of resistance that I meet within the general public and with clients as well.
Yeah. So here, I mean, you actually use what they come up with. They are pedaling, you say, okay, and your legs move. So he cannot deny it because it's anyway what they do. And your legs go on moving. So it's yes, 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 yes. And while your leg moves, your breathing pattern changes, which is also normal. So, I mean, based on this, you build a lot of trust and a lot of sense of control. And also you empower your client to have the feeling that he himself decides what is about what is going on.
Yeah.
By some tactics which you use in the beginning, or just at the moment when you start with the active alert hypnosis. And with these small things, any control freak has the impression that he is fully in control of the thing. And he immediately goes, more or less everybody goes into hypnosis.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Claude.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
It is very well. From my own experience last year at the UK Hypnosis Convention, I absolutely loved it as being your demonstration, and I loved it as a method of therapy. And it is really interesting that yes, your legs just move. And although I thought I was walking on the spot, I think I sort of did a figure of 8 and walked around all over the place and found myself banging into things. But yes, like you say, you think that you're in control of it. Your legs move automatically, and that's obviously part of the therapy that you combine, the words that you use when you're using this method.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You describe exactly what most of the clients describe. So they say, oh, after a certain moment, I didn't feel my legs anymore, but they just continue to move, and it just went on and on and on. And in between, we do a lot of coaching or therapy work. With usual patterns, with usual methods, starting from like NLP techniques, like inner child work, whatever you're able to do as a therapist or coach, you also can do it in active alert. Of course, in some cases you may not really like to use active alert, but in many cases you actually can prefer active alert to relaxation hypnosis.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What's active flow hacking?
Look, active flow hacking is many people they know what flow is from their personal experience.
Yeah.
And they have an idea how it was, but it's a bit difficult for them to access it. Like you had it once 20 years ago or 25 years ago, whatever, and you remember there was something, but you don't really know how you actually could achieve.
Absolutely. And I completely resonate with that. I've been there myself for wanting to get back into that flow state.
Exactly. So
yeah, not been able to.
Flow hacking is in a way helping people to figure out by which process, which is very simple to figure out, by which process they themselves can go back into that flow. So how can they re-experience? And that's a pattern, a ritual, a method, their own methods which they develop by themselves, mostly. So we actually can analyze this, and this is a pattern. And you can generalize this pattern and make it automatic, so that this person, whenever he goes jogging or cycling or walking around the corner, go out with the dog or whatever,
Right.
immediately, instantly, this flow experience then will come back. Or if you're a tennis player, and whenever you're on the ground and the game one starts, you're able to put yourself in the flow. You have full access to all your memories of all your hits and your games and whatever you did before. Or if you're a copter pilot, and you haven't flown certain things for the past 10 years. So it will, and you have a long list of to-do, a long list of what you have to do and how you do. So this will actually block you from doing the right thing. So you have to go back and figure out how this person got into flow state 10 years ago.
Right.
Successfully flying around. So this is called flow hacking, to identify the process. And then, of course, you use this pattern like an induction or a help to the client. And some of these patterns, they can be generalized. Others, they may not be general.
And is this something that you embed using sort of post-hypnotic suggestions?
Sorry, I didn't get this question.
Is this something that you embed into the therapy with the client?
Yeah, sure.
Post-hypnotic suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really a part. So it will end up saying, like, whenever you go and you see this and this, for example, whenever you enter the tennis court and you reach there, automatically it will, and your body-mind system knows.
Fantastic.
And by moving your legs, you actually get back into this, back and back and back. So you build on these suggestions in a very heavy way. It's really compounding. I think you have experienced that also. It was, I don't know how much of compounding, but it must have been just a tremendous amount of compounding, and it comes in naturally. You know,
Absolutely.
It's not something artificial. It's really a very natural compounding.
Yes. It sounds, and I have experienced it, and it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
What you mentioned, 17 or more flow state triggers which push us into the deep now.
Yeah.
Can you briefly explain what they are and maybe mention a couple of these?
No, there are many. Some of them are, for example, just to focus. Now, you don't do 10 things at the same time. So it is not multitasking. You stop multitasking, for example, and you do one thing after the other. It's already helping you to come back to flow. We know that one of the biggest enemy of flow is multitasking, because you're not here, you're not there, you're nowhere, and so you don't get satisfaction, you don't get this concentration, you don't get this absorption. So there's a number of these hacks. Or, for example, another point is, which is a very well known, that you should balance what you know, your abilities, with the challenge you're confronted with. For example, if you have a boy who jumps, I mean, he's an athlete, he's jumping 1.20 meters or something like that.
Yeah.
So the father comes in and said, well, he has the potential of 1.80. But the boy is frustrated because he never is jumping across 1.80 because he even didn't jump over 125 because he didn't yet get over that point. So the challenge is too big compared to what he knows, to his ability.
Yeah.
But when the challenge is 122, 125, just a bit more,
yeah.
then there is a big likelihood that that boy achieves flow state.
Yes. Yes.
So, and this is a metaphor for what you can do at any place. So if you have a job, and if this job gets boring, you are actually going out of flow.
Mm.
So you have to increase the challenge. Because otherwise your attention goes down, your focus goes down, and you're most likely not to be in flow. So that's another of these methods. So there are 17 at least. Of course, we have many more, 17 of these small methodologies or methods, how you actually can help somebody or yourself actually to be in flow. Yeah. What is enhancing flow, how it really is pushing you to flow.
Great, thank you.
So these are these elements, and I'm going to speak about all the 17. Maybe some of the participants, they will come up with additional, the number 18, 20 or 30, I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is it.
We're very open to that, but you know, I look from it from various angles. For example, I look at it from the angle of a manager or boss of a company. So we know that if you're boss of a company and if you yourself are in a flow, it will enhance productivity of the whole company.
Yeah.
Some people say it will multiply it by 5.
Yeah.
So instead of 40 hours a week, you work just 8 hours. So
yeah.
So that we know what we talk about. So now, if the other employees, they also increase their flow experience by 10, 20%, whatever, this again will increase productivity of the whole company.
Yeah.
So there are some conditions which actually are increasing flow, and others they are destroying flow. Multitasking is one destroying. You can, if you look at a company, for example, here in Switzerland, we have some companies or administrations where people have to take up the phone after not more than 3 or 4 ringings. Yes. So if you have organized that this way, it is most likely that this person has bigger difficulties to be in flow during his work. Then let's say I hear this phone, it's ringing, and I can complete this task, or I can complete it in such a way that I will be able to go back to it in a decent way easily. And then maybe after 6, 7, 8 times of ringing, I take up the phone and I will be fully with the other person on the other side.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that is a very good point.
And these are the small things which actually help increase flow and which help companies. So we can talk about that also, because we have some responsibility. It's not only hypnosis, which helps a lot, but we also have some, let's say, industrial processes which actually prevent people from being in flow. So we talk also about that a bit.
Say that again, sorry.
I'm also going to talk a bit about that, because these are very practical things. Once you're, for example, a consultant to a company, you look at these small things which actually make the life of the staff more difficult or less or easier.
Yeah, yeah. Very good point. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
You talk about us pushing ourselves into a state of peak performance.
Yes.
Is this something that we can utilize using self-hypnosis?
Sure. This is like always, hypnosis is mostly self-hypnosis. And the more you go into self-hypnosis, active alert self-hypnosis, the more actually you know how to do it. So actually people who can, very successful people like managers, athletes, entrepreneurs, they can go into flow almost by will. They know, I want to go, I know the process, I go.
Yeah.
Maybe they do not succeed every time.
Yeah.
Like maybe we cannot go to painlessness every time when we do self-hypnosis, but we can learn to do that. So we can learn how to be in an active alert hypnosis, and then how we can access flow. By small things, by rituals, by whatever.
Brilliant.
And this is what everybody does. Whoever is my client or who is in a training to become an active alert hypnotist, they learn self-hypnosis and how to actually apply self-hypnosis then with their clients.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's always great. I mean, it's fun.
Are there any type of clients that you work with, any specific clients?
Yeah, of course, I like, of course, to work with people who like performance, when performance is an issue. Like, of course, athletes want to perform more, managers want to perform longer, better, they don't really like their jobs anymore. Many, they have kind of burnout, they lost their inner fire for their work. So that's a classical situation when you can use active alert hypnosis. Then you have some specific issues. For example, somebody is unemployed. So he's writing letters to possible employers, and he always gets no or no response. So they're frustrated. Now, such a person, you would be able to help that person in 1 or 2 sessions to overcome his main problems. But here the issue is slightly different, because he, every 2nd or 3rd week, he needs a kind of remotivation, a kick to go on. So in such cases, active alert hypnosis is very good, because you can actually help people. They come in, you assess the state where he is, how is his motivation, then with the new issues you make a next active alert hypnosis, then you plan the next 3-4 weeks what he's doing, again help him to get a positive feeling or to figure out how he can do it, and off he goes, and he will back maybe in 4 weeks, and then again you evaluate what was going on. So that's a bit how you can use it for such cases. Then in therapy, it has been often used in depression. It is highly recommended for work with depressive clients, because just by moving, you enhance the dopamine level in the system of the client. So he brings himself a bit out of the depression by himself, which is always good. You don't have to do all the work, so let the client do the work. So depression is very good. And of course, you have a huge thing with all kinds of fears, phobias, and so on and so on. You can help people overcome these things by themselves. And once they know how to do it, they may be able to do it. Not all, but many of them. So it would help them to overcome emergency situations, like I'm now so angry with my husband and I want to kill him. What can I do? You cannot receive her because you have no time. You booked, but your books are full. So so you have to tell them something, emergency reaction, so you can help. Once they have been with you, once they know the technique, you can give them a very short, very precise advice how they can go out and run until this anger or whatever it is will be gone, or this depression, and so on and so on. So you can help this type of people. And a huge field of activities are children, mainly very active children. They like movements.
Yeah.
Children who cannot concentrate.
Yeah.
Children who cannot learn. We have measured tremendous differences in certain children with who sit still there and try to remember certain things, as compared to when they sit on a bike, when they pedal while they learn. So it can have speed up their memory rate or multiply it. I mean, it's not with everyone, but with some it really helps. So it's a huge field. I have colleagues who work only in that field.
Yeah.
With hyperactive kids and kids with learning deficiencies. It's incredibly powerful over there.
Fantastic. And that's the thing, in my experience with children, many children can't sit still. Many children are always having to move, to tap, to do whatever. And actually, they're trying to stop themselves from the moving, the tapping, actually then prevents them from doing the learning. So I can see where that would be really useful. Yeah.
You know, it's of course, children, they won't sit on the bike and pedal there like an adult may do. So sometimes they sit, then they pedal, then they walk around the bike, then they sit. So you just have to get acquainted to this, and you ignore that they are not sitting as normal over there, and they're still in hypnosis and they work on whatever it is. So let them do it their own way.
You've got to go with the flow.
Yeah, it's really great. It's quite fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds amazing, Claude. And I was your demonstration at last year's convention, as we've said. Will you be doing a demonstration at this year's convention?
Yeah, I think I will do that also, because it makes it much more. I mean, when we talk now, it's probably great or not so great, I don't know. But if you see it, it's much better, because then you know what it's all about, what's happening. You see it with your own eyes. Now we can tell, well, whenever you dance, whenever you move, you get into trance and all this. But there you see it.
Yeah. And I can honestly say my own experience was transformational, and it was just a short 15-minute session, but felt like 2 minutes. But it was amazing, and I, as you know, speak very highly of my demonstration and of yourself and of your practice. So thank you, Claude.
No, it was the right time at the right place, and it went very smoothly. And of course, we had to remove all chairs and all that. You were walking a lot, but that's was very convenient also, because it demonstrated how much you were actually in hypnosis.
Yeah, exactly. That is it. And and as I said earlier on in this interview, I felt like I'd remained in control, but was completely in hypnosis, And I think what swung it for me was when I get to 5, I think it was 5, my legs will stop automatically. And I didn't think that it was going to happen, but at 5, that was it, bang, legs stopped, and I started coming out of my hypnotic experience.
Yeah, you followed very well my words.
A good subject.
Yes, highly suggestible. No, I'm joking. So most of the people with this method, probably more or less everyone is suggestible, because everybody will agree to, when he moves his leg, you say you move your leg, you cannot deny it. Yeah. And then you're breathing in, you're breathing out. Can you deny it? No. So it's actually very easy.
Well, Claude, it all sounds wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to watching your presentation again this year. If tickets are still available, if you would like to watch Claude, he is presenting, as I've said, on Sunday the 10th of November at 5 o'clock Tickets are available at the ukhypnosisconvention.co.uk, and I look forward to seeing you there and seeing you there, Claude, as well. Thank you for joining me today.
I can guarantee you that this will give you the kick back home. Because usually towards the end of a conference, people are slightly tired. But in this case, this will be, let's say, the final kick, the final
final motivation,
the final motivation to bring to life whatever you will have learned during that conference.
What a wonderful way to end the convention. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you. Take care.
Take
and I'll
care.
see you in November.
Yes, see you.